Hi there gamers, and welcome to the latest edition of Almost Gaming. Fresh off of our E3 2015 coverage, I felt like it was time for a bit of a change around here. Watching some of the other video game news shows on YouTube, I felt like I might have been going for too much of a CNN thing, overdoing the professional newscaster style that I've been taught. Now, gaming is a professional news field, don't get me wrong, but even in the field, in the professional gaming world, you don't see a whole lot of the nightly news format. Besides, what's going to differentiate Almost Gaming from the other gaming news shows on YouTube are my opinions, not the stories that I cover. Now, this isn't about being like everyone else, it's just finding a comfortable format for this show. Now, you can watch the show and then let me know what you think in the comments below. Alright, let's do it. One of the highlights of Microsoft's E3 press conference was Rare Replay, a collection of 30 of Rare's classic games for $30. And the fact that it was coming so soon, August 4th, was another cause for delight. But apparently the collection needs just a touch more polish. A writer from Gamerscorehorrors.com is reporting that they've been emailed by Amazon UK to let them know that their pre-order has been delayed to a shipping date of August 10th at the earliest. Now, I don't think this is a really big deal. Updating older games to newer consoles can be tricky. The collection probably just needs some tweaks, maybe some adjustments to the Xbox One achievement system in order to get it up and running and ready. Now, this patience does have limits, however. This is a very short delay, only about 6 days. However, if it keeps getting pushed back and back and back, people are going to start to get kind of impatient. So I hope they get this one out soon. The issues with the PC port of the recently released Batman Arkham Knight have been well known for a while now, but just in case you missed them, there have been missing textures, low frame rates, graphical jitters, etc. Now, any game on any system can be plagued by issues that were unexpected but popped up at launch, right? Well, it turns out that some of these issues may not have been so unexpected. A report on Kotaku that quotes a number of unnamed testers indicates the publisher Warner Bros. Was well aware of the game's issues before it was launched. Basically, every issue that has popped up was mentioned. But while the game was delayed a few times, it seems that this was more to get it ready for its console release than to wrap up things with the PC version. Now, Warner Bros. Has since pulled the PC version of the game from Steam, likely basically due to Steam's new refund policy that ensures the company would not be able to profit from the game in its current state. The first thing to take from this story is that this is the real first major impact of the Steam refund policy. This is the first time that the quality of a PC game has caused people to demand enough refunds to get that game pulled. So this is a really positive impact of the Steam refund policy, even though the last time I mentioned it, when it was instituted, I did mention kind of the negative impact that it can have on kind of try and buy purchases and refunds of indie games. But this is definitely a positive thing that happens as a result of it. It's really unfortunate that this keeps happening with WB. It's an issue that comes up. It came up with Mortal Kombat, with some of their other titles. This is nothing new. I believe this happened with Arkham Origins, actually. WB just seems to be of the mindset that it's better, or at least more cost-effective, to port the PC version out to a different company, which doesn't really make sense. Why have a single company work on the PlayStation version of the game and the Microsoft version of the game and the Wii U version of the game, which never actually happens because nobody third-party develops for the Wii U anymore. But anyway, and then say, you know what, you handled those, but let's take this, PC version and toss it off to another company because they'll make it for cheaper. That doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. It seems like you should be able to just develop for all of the systems at once. I do have to say, it's a little bit funny for these issues to pop up with the PC Master Race It's not always better to play games on a PC, is it? I've heard people say that the PlayStation version of the game in particular is beautiful, runs smoothly, and is a really good game. And you're just not getting that experience on PC, so this kind of knocks the PC gaming people down a peg. But yeah, kind of like I said, in the end, I really think this should just be a very strong signal to Warner Brothers that they need to stop this whole porting out the PC version practice and just have the company, the development studio that made the console version, make the PC version, even if it extends development time a little. One of the benefits of doing the show in this new format is that it's easier to talk about more than one story on the same topic. For Nintendo this week, I'm taking two different reports and combining them because they deal with a single topic: rumors about the launch of the Nintendo NX. The first is a report by DigiTimes that was spotted by Nintendo enthusiasts saying that Nintendo may be preparing to launch the NX not in the holiday season of 2016, but in July. The report says that Nintendo is apparently telling its manufacturers to get ready to manufacture the units in May and June so they can be released in July of 2016. However, the second rumor is even more concerning. Nintendo has mostly avoided the processing power arms race with Sony and Microsoft with the Wii and Wii U, making them just kind of 0.5 upgrades on their current generations. However, if this rumor is to be believed, Nintendo may not even do that with the NX. Dr. Cupcakes, a video game writer and investigator on Twitter, reports that after talking to the right people, he's convinced that Nintendo will not even have the NX meet the power of the PS4 when it launches, meaning that this console would launch less powerful than even the current generation. Alright, let's get the July rumor out of the way first, because I do think that's a possibility. It would be some more out-of-the-box thinking for Nintendo. It would let them see how many people are buying the NX just because they want it and not as much for Black Friday sales or just because someone they know might want it. You know, it really lets them see what their fans think about it. So that could be a good strategy for them. You know, we'll see. I do think it's a little bit, you know, that would put us within a year of the console's launch, and we know very little about it. That would be launching it just a few weeks after E3. You know, I mean, that could work as a strategy of wowing us with all of the information and then saying, hey, in 2 weeks it's available. But we'll just have to see what happens on that one. As for the other one, not disputing the connectedness, so to speak, of Dr. Cupcakes. I did some research into him. I hadn't really heard about him before, to be honest. But I did some research into him, and he's hit on a lot of big rumors. He seems to be very connected, but I just really don't believe this rumor about the NX's power. I don't think Nintendo will be that disrespectful to their gamers or the third parties, because they've been having problems with each. The gamers want a really powerful, top-of-the-line console, and they've had documented struggles with relationships with third parties and have said that they are going to work on those. Well, third-party developers are going to want a console that's up at the top, pushing the biggest power and the strongest graphics, because that's what's going to sell games to people. So Nintendo can't really work on third-party relationships and come out with a weaker console. And also, you know, the Wii U has struggled in sales a bit and been decried because it's just not enough of a step up from the Wii U. So if they want people to invest in a new Nintendo console, especially so soon after the Wii U, it's an average 5-year shelf life, but, you know, considering the shelf lives are getting longer now for consoles, this is going to be seen as kind of soon. If they want people to make that investment, they're going to have to give them a really strong reason. Now, Nintendo's strength is innovation. We know that. The Wii had the Wii Remote. The Wii U had the gamepad. There's always something new and different that Nintendo seeks to do. Many people think for the NX it's going to be this rumored ability to be both a home console and a portable console, which would be really neat. But I still think in order to move a lot of units and to recover from what the Wii U did wrong, it's going to really have to have some strong engine power under the hood. for Sony have been a bit up or down lately, and now they're having some issues with some of their own fans. The PlayStation Network, Sony's premium subscription service, has had a bit of a rough go. It's like the company been up and down lately, and now some of its very own users are finally fed up. Sony gamers on NeoGAF started the campaign called #BetterPSN, and it's getting a lot of attention on Reddit and Twitter, and even has established its own website. The demands are actually really rather reasonable. Things like better friends list functionality with things like nicknames, online-offline notifications, and the ability to send video directly to friends. Directly. Alright, full confession, I haven't owned a Sony console since the PlayStation 2, so I really have no experience with the PlayStation Network, and I haven't experienced any of these problems firsthand. But I have friends who have. I have heard about issues with the PSN before. And I think when you have gamers paying for something, especially like in a subscription service, the value of that includes it being fully functional and having features that people want in it. So I really think that this is something that Sony should take to heart. They should get with these gamers. They should listen to these demands, this list of functionality that they want, and if it's at all possible, get it incorporated into PSN and make it a better service for everyone. For our featured story, we return to the superhero gaming genre. When it was announced that Arkham Knight would be the end of the Batman Arkham trilogy, many fans were hoping they would turn their attention to DC's other super famous hero, Superman. The issues with making a good Superman game have been well documented, but if anybody could handle Superman, it's Rocksteady, right? Well, a rumor has come out to that effect, but it doesn't involve the developer of the Arkham games, but the publisher. Warner Brothers Games Montreal, developers of the, oh yeah, Arkham is actually a quadrology, Arkham Origins, began hiring 15 people for, quote, a new IP project for next-generation game platforms, end quote, featuring an online component and looking for, quote, a passionate dev team developing DC Comics-focused AAA games that evolve and celebrate the legendary brands of Warner Brothers, end quote. A leaked screenshot, the source of which is actually kind of unclear, was recently posted to onlysp.com. The screenshot seemingly shows a skin selection screen with Superman's new 52 skin as well as Xbox buttons. Now, the site's sources have recently told them that the game that Warner Brothers Montreal was hiring for isn't actually Superman, but a Suicide Squad game likely connected to the upcoming movie. So the screenshot could just be wishful thinking. Now, I'm really hoping that this is true. Superman is a character that is long overdue for a really good, well-made, successful video game. The folks at WBG Montreal are familiar with the Arkham style of games, having developed Arkham Origins, so it's definitely possible that they could port that style over to Superman and make an equally successful game. Now, as the sources for OnlySP said, the game that they're actually hiring for is probably Suicide Squad, especially with the movie coming out soon. But that doesn't mean that a Superman game isn't possible. This team could be hired on long term to handle multiple DC properties, and you've got to think that the folks at Warner Brothers are thinking, like I just said, that a good Superman game with really high production values is something that gamers are going to eat up, and it should be something that's in their long-term plans. Alright, that's going to do it for the latest edition of Almost Gaming. Thank you so much for watching, and now you can let me know what you think of the new format of the show. Just leave me a comment right down below, let me know what you think. Any feedback is welcome and appreciated. Make sure to like the video, and subscribe so that you can see the hottest gaming news every Friday. That's right, Almost Gaming is now scheduled to come out on Fridays. As I said in some previous videos, I'll be focusing on making sure the show comes out every Friday, so subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when these episodes get posted each Friday. That is going to wrap things up. As I said, thank you once again so much for watching, and until next time, game on!